Islam Tribe. It's your boy Noble here with the Chicago Moors, and we here to talk about the Zodiac Constitution by CM Bey. Copyright AA222141. Don't mind the cat. Cat one of the, that's a Muslim. He riding with us. The preface of the Zodiac Constitution. I'm gonna start there. Moorish adepts, Moorish scientists, master masons, Eastern stars, sheiks, sheikesses, neophytes, Grand Seal PhDs, LLD, the erudite of jurisprudence, amanuensis, masters, and world scholars have studied and marveled upon analyzing the written Zodiac Constitution. This highly qualified document was penned by CM Bey, a 3rd, 33rd, and 360-degree free Moorish Master Mason, Master Astrologer, PhD, LLD, and constitutional lawgiver. This master work was copyrighted and registered in the Library of Congress Copyright Office and with the Department of Justice at Washington, D.C., United States Republic of North America. There are interesting and effective literary characteristics about CM Bey's written Zodiac Constitution, which go beyond the fact of its being clear, simple, and direct. Moorish scholars will take note that it maintains the ancient Moorish scientific, metaphysical, and spiritual approach to the number 7 in harmony with the natural constitution of man's makeup. Other learned intellectuals of the varied and advanced Gnostic schools of the world and of government no doubt must appreciate its uncluttered directness and integrity towards justice. The written Zodiac Constitution was not readily available to the masses due to the nature of limited access to Moorish schools of learning and the suppression of information practices of Union State Society politicians and other secret societies, policies of clubism culture. The true history and law of North America has never been revealed to the subjugated masses. This antisocial practice is a part of the necessary socialization tools for maintaining veiled economic, political, and bureaucratic servitude in the Americas, particularly the North Gate.
And so when that's actually, I know you pronounce it as veiled, but that's actually veiled. Okay. So when something is veiled, it's the cover. So okay. Like whenever you see the Moabites, or whenever, not the Moabites, but you'll see sometimes over in the quote-unquote Indies and Arabia and all this other stuff, and you see them with their eyes and all that stuff are covered or whatever, and they may have that deal that they can actually lift up. Mm-hmm. And so the real original way for that is for the sandstorms. That was to help cover up their eyes so the sand wouldn't get in their eyes instead of turning into something like a fashion statement. Mm-hmm. But that's what that's really for. And so when they're talking about it's like it's a veil that's over it, so you don't see the underworkings of who it is that you're going to. So when this entity comes to you, you think that they are who they say they are, but underneath the veil, you'll see that they're an imposter. They're not who they are. They're just in your clothes. Okay.
That was nice. Let us be qualified in our understanding that the Zodiac Constitution is not just the actual written 7-article document as presented to you for reading, historical analysis, and law study. The general populace must have access to that consciousness involving the true history and scientific foundation of civilization and culture on the Earth planet. Thusly, one immediately and wisely recognizes what actually comprises the Zodiac Constitution and the elemental nature of what inspired CM Bey to produce the inclusively complex scale of this compact and evidentiary treaty on right law government. What comprises the Zodiac Constitution is expressed and revealed in the first opening paragraph of Article 1 as written by CM Bey. His literary works have come manifest by way of a knowledge of the zodiac, or workings of nature, the Moabite Morse code for civilization, and the sciences mentioned. And so, one can surmise that astrology, the 12 signs of the zodiac, an expansion on the code of mathematics scale involving the numbers 0 through 9, the science of geometry, and the Arabic alphabet comprise Moabite Morse science, the culture and foundation of civilization on the planet. A logistical study of the Zodiac Constitution should generate years of research and recovery of world culture and true American history. For all who seek truth, let us affirm our honor for our ancient mothers and fathers, embrace knowledge and shun ignorance, help to uplift fallen humanity. Hebrew Haq Salam Hurriyatun Al Islam Assalamu Alaikum Vadi Makum. Taj Tariq Bey, a free Moor, son of a widow, Moor's Divine National Movement, Moor Science Temple of America.
Moor's Order of the Round Table.
Moor's Order of the Round Table. You know this next one, Great Seal.
Great Seal, a National Association of Moorish Affairs. Great Seal, National Association of Moorish Affairs.
Okay. And Shechabi territory, northwest of Mexico. Now, let's get into Article 1 of the Zodiac Constitution. The 12 signs of the Zodiac, the code of mathematics scaling from 0 to 9, and the science of geometry comprise the Constitution of the living Moorish nation of North America, referred to as Negroes, who ruled the world in the 7 seas by the 12 signs of the Zodiac and the science of geometry for 1196 years to the Amazon Dutch German Catholic priesthood, fathers of the Revolution of 1789, and the Sisterhood Magna Charta, Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society of White Supremacy in 1863, North America. The 12 jurymen of the 50 Union State Society and also the 9 judges of the Supreme Court were founded upon the Moorish nation's 12 signs of the Zodiac Constitution in mathematics scaling from 0 to 9. Thus, without our Moorish Constitution, the Magna Charta, Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society of the myth of white supremacy definitely could have been found. I believe that's meant to say couldn't have been founded in 1863. So basically, what I'm getting from this is laying the foundation for everything everything that's finna be said after this in the Constitution as far as our birthrights and this is that and the other. Even though this system is a de facto. Because now we get into the concept of principal and agent. So in this, the principal will be us. The principal is the source. So it like a lot of people, the reason why blacks are allegedly getting a benefit from this de facto government is because they don't know that they are the source. They are claiming to be an agent of this de facto. They are claiming that this de facto is the source. See, in the second paragraph, he tells you, since the 12 jurymen of the 50 Union State Society and also the 9 judges of the Supreme Court were founded upon the Moorish nation's 12 signs of the Zodiac and mathematics scaling from 0 to 9. So it's saying without us, you can't even get up. We your origin. Y'all got what y'all got by copying us. Like y'all a lesser form of us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To whatever degree.
So when I'm going back to the whole thing where it's saying that the Emancipation Proclamation, Magna Carta, all that, when we're talking about that the myth of white supremacy definitely could have been found in 1963. So 1863, and then I'm thinking the main thing about the whole white supremacy piece is it's a little bit more to kind of get you thrown off from the fact that they used all of these quote unquote codes or names, colorful names. So like when they did Blackamoor and black and started calling all these people Negroes and all this other stuff, that's what denationalized you, because during that time frame, that's where the titles and stuff, they weren't being issued. People were going under whatever name that they had. So everybody wasn't slaves. Okay, let's just get that point on out here. It was just that a lot of people were raised, some people were conversos, switched over, and some of these still same people you see today. So it's like, the brothers and sisters that we talk to and say they're Moors, they say, oh no, yeah, I know I'm a Moor, but you don't have to do all that. We can work with the system. See, that's a converso. Okay, so you can't really argue with the conversos because it's not like when they die they still Moors, so they come back. That's why we're still having an issue with them today. But the whole thing is they try to hide and push everything under the guise of racism and all this other stuff, when no, it's not actually racism. It's because you haven't adopted your own principles that you're supposed to be rolling with, and since you weren't, people get to treat you how they want. You deemed it undesirable, and so that's where people start to say that it's racism. But no, it's just straight birthright though.
Agreed. And like, I don't want to go too far off, but the Colin Kaepernick situation just popped back up. Now, yesterday he was supposed to have some type of trial with the NFL, and you know it's steady bringing back up the emotions of black versus the system. You know, they doing blacks wrong. So I'm steady like fighting with how to look at that, because he ain't calling Kaepernick L or calling Kaepernick Bey. So it's like, do he not know? Or is he a tool being used to rile up that emotional, that black, we getting oppressed black, you know what I'm saying? Denationalizing ourselves? I don't know, you know.
So here's the thing. We all doing studies, right? And before you get to more information, the only thing you know is the black paradigm. You didn't had to talk to you from your grandparents, your great grandparents, and everybody told you. Every now and then you got somebody whose grandparents will own it and was lucky enough to kind of let you know, hey, that shit ain't right. Everybody didn't have that opportunity. When you see that a lot of the narrative when it comes with regards to black, they push all this stuff, show you all this imagery, make you feel some type of way. They tell you all these stories or whatever. Like, you know, when we went to school, we knew and heard of the baddest chick we knew was, what's her name? Her name that everybody kind of goes through it is Harriet Tubman.
Right.
Right? But when you really, really get off into the story and you see it from a Moorish lens, she had an appellation.
And I just found that out too.
Amanita Ross Bey. Okay? So the whole point is, the thing about the Underground Railroad that people don't understand is that they thinking, you know, like she was running through the jungles and shit,
right,
had a fucking shotgun and was shooting people, hiding, sleeping in the trees at night. That's not how that went. It was a line of a host of people, different people, Albion and Moors alike, where they did have some underground tunnels that she went through, okay, but they were man-made tunnels that already were there, all right? And so what she did was she dressed them up like regular, normal, clean Moors in clean clothes, not slave clothes, and slapped their ass out there to walk amongst the people in some sites to get through, okay? So the people where she knew, the Moors knew, then y'all don't have to worry about us going underground, because we can walk up out here and walk through here as long as we look like we're in our proper person.
Right.
Okay? And then that's how I'm going to get you to navigate you through this whole way. So yeah, she was bad, because it wasn't no backwards when you went down this road, because if you went down the road after you turned,
right, you
compromised, and you would risk the whole mission. So at that point, you are expendable. You have to be. Because she has, her main concern was getting the people to where they need to be. So, you know, at the end of the day, we keep seeing things or fed things to us within a black narrative, but it's not a black narrative. So even like Abraham Lincoln, you still think that he was an Albion.
Right.
You got all these pictures. They got all these pictures to support to you to show that he's an Albion. But he's not.
Right.
Okay, but you got to know how to research and what to look to see to get to that, because everything is buried. But we're not taught how to do that. So, you know, when that's the reason why you get into this information, you almost got to dump most of the stuff that you know, because most of it's garbage, and you got to try to learn how to research and keep undigging and uncovering stuff, because you can't just go to Google or, hi Siri, you know, who was Harriet Tubman? You know, she's gonna be like, she was part of the black slave,
right.
and that's not what she was. You're relying on a source outside of yourself to tell you what's going on, and you don't know how to actually look up for what you're looking for. So
yeah, I got to do the science on that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the trip. That's the trip.
So, Article 2, Zodiac Constitution birthright, the Moorish American, the Bays and L's. Since the 12 jurymen of the 50 Union States Magna Charta document of white supremacy and the 9 judges of their Supreme Court were founded upon our Moorish Zodiac 12 signs, mathematical constitution, the lawmakers have no jurisdiction over the free Moors, the Beys, and Els in the inherited land of the Moorish nation, namely USA, Canada, Central, and South America. Now, they building on that first article. You laid the foundation, basically repeated what was said. Since y'all based off us, y'all ain't got no jurisdiction over us.
And then you also notice the whole part of the first thing, what did it say? Constitution, Zodiac Constitution, birthright of Moorish, the Moorish American, Hills and Bays, right? So let's just bring up this for a question. How is this you got to go to Moorish Science Temple of America to be a Moor?
Man.
If it's a birthright.
And see, I ain't really want to get into, but we just did the video Caveat Emptor, and that's so real. Like what you just say, how do you got to go through them to get your birthright?
Right.
Because why is we Moorish Americans? We descendants of Morocco, right?
Right.
Of Morocco.
And the descendancy is tied to your heredity, which you get that from your mother, and you that happens when you come through the womb, because that womb is what everybody considers to be your stargate. So
facts.
I just get confused sometimes when people kind of say, "Oh yeah, well you ain't part of the temple, so you're not a Moor," but I was a Moor when I came through my mother's stargate, whether I knew it or not. That still doesn't change where I came from and who my lineage, my bloodline pedigree still does not change if I don't know that. Now, if I deliberately know that and choose to ignore it, like that's a totally different story.
Right.
You know, you get whatever you're supposed to get because you didn't went outside your damn family. Mm-hmm. But if I know that's my so here's the easiest way to put it. If a lioness bears a baby, it's a little lion, baby lion. So does the lion go over to the cheetah and say, "Now what am I?" When he knew what he was from where he came from with his mama, because that's who he seen as soon as he came out, that's who he saw, right? Not cheetah. Can you make me a lion?
Right.
It don't work that way. We just gotta follow nature. I ain't never seen no species go to another species and ask them, or I ain't never seen another lion be born from a lioness and then go out his side of his territory and run to another lion and say, "Am I a lion? Can you make me a lion?" You know, my daddy too busy protecting the territory over here, so I was gonna see if you can make me a lion real quick so I can go back home and tell him that I'm a lion now.
Not even that. Not even am I a lion. Why is these lions saying that I ain't a cheetah? This the lion coming to the cheetah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When the other lions coming to this lion that been raised by cheetahs, like why you acting like a cheetah? You know what I'm saying? We lions, and we look at us. Look at us and look at them.
Yeah.
Oh, that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I was born over here with the cheetahs. Like they make all these cartoon movies about it. You know, your kids be watching while you doing the dishes. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You might hear something and be like, but we sleep. I was just they got a movie out now. I was just doing my slavery, my Job, and I was in somebody's home cleaning some articles of furniture or whatever, and a little kid was watching some little cartoon movie they got now with like it's a bunch of little bunnies and animals and I hear it's like the bunnies come to this garden and there's a bunch of animals greeting the bunnies, right? I'm like, oh, I see what's going on. I know what is going on. Your old prodigal son, you come back for your land and all. I'm like, what the? I'm like, I ain't even look it up though. I'm gonna look it up. We gonna have that for y'all the next video, or I'm gonna have it for you so you can edit it. I'm gonna have the name of the video and the scene and everything. But he like, yeah, you coming back for your land, and I'll just see the little boy just walk. He don't like. I'm like, man, it's crazy. They putting this in the cartoons like this. They mocking us like this. The mummers. You know what I'm saying? So basically, this is Zodiac Constitution birthright, which is hinting at why we got the birthright. Because it's our land. Because it's this the land, the portion that was made for us. If we was on another piece of land, our birthright would be over there. So this the reason why we got the birthright. What'd he say? Lawmakers have no jurisdiction over free Moors, the Bays and L's, in the inherited land of the Moorish nation. So that's why we got the birthright. It's just like somebody coming in my house. You ain't finna come in my house and put your feet up on my table or sit in my leather chair like I'm Archie Bunker. That's my chair. That's my, no, that's how this go.
You eat up and drink up all your shit and then say, "Where's my motherfucking allowance?
Right.
Give me some money." Yeah, that ain't gonna work out.
And the rest of that say the Moorish American nationality and their surnames, Bey and L, are their inherited birthrights without a legal due process of the lawmakers of the Union Society. USA, what our Moorish forefathers were, we are today without a doubt or contradiction, namely Moorish. But, and we all bear witness in this room, we just had somebody, and I ain't trying to shoot, I'll be the one trying to do the unity thing with Temple Moors, with whoever, you know what I'm saying? But we just had somebody who said they represent that part and was trying to explain to us how if we get accosted by these policy enforcers, we supposed to call so they can get the okay from him to let us go. Like what part of our self-law matters is that?
My question is, how is it that you validate, like when we just said, it tells you right here in your Constitution, if you're L and Bey, this is your Constitution, period. There ain't no other way to look at it, okay? And then, so you do this, you're L and Bey, and it tells you L and Bey right here, but then somebody got to verify you through a system or whatever that you didn't put yourself in, but you all of a sudden, if this person, said person, don't have your stuff, you're not a Moor. They can't deny you of being a Moor because you got that from your mother. Okay? I mean, that was her Stargate. So like I say,
right.
Show me y'all Stargate over there. I'm just curious.
Right.
Because you can't tell somebody they're not a Moor just because they're not a parcel of your social group.
Right.
Okay? Because if you're not standing on the principles, it's a social group.
Now, we know from Circle 7 Quran, I forgot, I think it's chapter 7. I don't know, I might be mistaken. But Circle 7 Quran, let me see if I can find it. It's only two things. Truth and falsehood. You got art and you got naught. Mm-hmm. So we can go straight in multiple literature of ours and see why we got a birthright as Moorish Americans. You know what it is. We got facts on that. We have truth for that. So if it don't line up with that, it's not. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even finna look for it. I'm gonna keep the flow. But so I think we handled Article 2 as far as why we had a birthright. Okay, so Article 3. Tax and military exemption for Moorish Americans, the Bays and L's. Mm-hmm. The Moors, referred to as Negroes, definitely can never become members and citizens of the Union Society of the 48 states. Therefore, they cannot be forced or drafted into the Union, USA Army, or military service to fight for the Magna Charta Code of the white supremacy against themselves. The lawmakers of the 48 States Union Order cannot force the Moors, the Bays and L's, to pay taxes because taxation without representation is a supreme violation of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution birthrights of Islam. When the Union lawmakers denounce their immoral Magna Charta Code and result to the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors are compelled to pay taxes because everyone in the nation will be equally represented by it. There is no room in the science of Masonry, the Zodiac, for mystic God, religious worship, race, color, ignorance, war, crime, slavery, and human injustice.
Now, when we take that, let's go back to that census conversation.
Let's get it.
There ain't no room for those badges. So what's the point of even filling them out? That's why I'm like, that other box, right, if you are going to participate, that other box, to me, is more so the way to go. And I don't even care about the other constructs that you can put up there. We all know that all those are fraudulent anyway. Matter of fact, I might just check other and then write Zodiac Constitution. Or other AA222141. And just, there you go.
I think you good. As long as you fill out that other portion, I even think you good if you put, because it's for the straw man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing the census, you're not finna put noble whoever your appellation is.
Mm-hmm.
It's you dealing in commerce. So, like I say, I think you good if you use white, American Indian, or other, as long as you put the nationality, which is the origin that they asking for, that's backing. As long as you know, if you feel comfortable enough that you can deal, that you studied this, you know what I'm saying, and you dealing in commerce and this, that, and the other, you probably already know what to put. But if you don't, they got the box out the bottom that just say other. You don't even got to put the straw in there. You can just straight put Moorish American or American Moor or however you know what I'm saying.
You feel, however you like to identify.
Exactly. And always when you signing, because this whole system is contract, this commerce thing is all about contract, reserve all your rights. UCC 1-308 or put all rights reserved or TDC or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely putting TDC on there because we forced into this commerce. Like I didn't, ask for the straw man. I didn't sign that birth certificate. I didn't make that contract. Moms did that. So it's already invalid, but they forcing us in it. So yeah, TDC, all rights reserved, all that with this or any other contract you get into.
Yeah, well, that works. As man thinketh, that's so he does. So whatever it is that we want to do, because it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, they ain't forcing you to anything with regards to anything outside of that, because the census is just a form of study that they using for whatever. But at the end of the day, if we all stand up like we supposed to, it ain't gonna even fucking matter.
And like once again, I'm a read, like we finna go on to Article 4. So I've heard, and I know it's gonna be some more that see this that's gonna be like, man, we not supposed to do that. We not supposed to do this. It's gonna obligate us to them. It's gonna make us pledge allegiance to the de facto. Is not. Look up United States Code Title 8, subsection 1448. It deal with renunciation and allegiance. It show you everything you gotta do to naturalize into another nation. See, what you need to do is know the law. So when somebody assumes, you can rebut. Because if you don't rebut, it's tacit acquiescence. See, everything is contract over here. So, Article 4, adequate employment and protection for Moorish Americans. And don't forget that all of this is referring to the Republic, the USA Republic. We ain't talking about de facto. So keep that in mind when we go over this, because there's going to be a few things you might hear. If you don't know the concept, you're going to be, you know what I'm saying, waving your finger, and it ain't the case. Every lawmaker, the heads of industry and business, enterprise of the 50 States Union Order are obligated members and citizens of the Magna Charta Christian Church and Temple System of Christ, the King of Jews, meaning jury over the wealth and culture of the living Moorish nation of North America. Therefore, by the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, the Moors, the Beys and Els, can demand adequate employment, food, clothing, shelter, medical care, equal rights, respect, and protection from mob violence, rape, and injustices, otherwise without being obligated to the Union Church and religious system of the Order of Christ, the white sun idol god. Now, why are not the Moors, the Beys and the Els obligated to the white sun idol god and the Union Church and religious system of the Order of Christ? Why are we not obligated?
Well, that's the Magna Carta Code of the white supremacy against them that it just told you in Article 3. So that's why you're not obligated to that.
Not only that, they own our land. Look at the first paragraph. It say jury, they over the wealth. It say the lawmakers, the head, and all these Europeans, They over our wealth and our culture. Over the wealth and culture of the living Moorish nation of North America. So they the ones getting the benefit. We ain't getting no benefit. Y'all using our stuff. We the first nation that allowed y'all to be recognized. Like Hillary and them say.
It's a treaty of peace and friendship.
Yeah. So if y'all don't like it, bye. Leave. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, because you're using our resources, because you're using our culture, because it's, we forced into this, by right, see, that's that birthright. We can demand all these things that would normally be considered benefits to the blacks. You know what I'm saying? But they not benefits to us. Like I said, we get into the age and principle thing. We the principle. We the source. You know what I'm saying? So it's along that order. You got anything to add?
Well, I mean that whole Article 4. That's even when people get worried about, I don't want to proclaim my nationality because I'm gonna get my Social Security, whatever's gonna get cut off or whatever because I'm on disability and all of this. Those things you can have because that is your estate. They owe you that anyway. That's why you can demand it. So all of the stuff that you were getting, you can still get it because those benefits automatically apply to you if you demand them because they're yours in the first place to get. And the treaty is what you stand on to receive such goods.
And the key word is demand. That's how you know it's right. It's your right. You can demand it. You ain't asking. So, Article 5. Immoral marriage license code against the zodiac law of nature. Truth cannot be altered and therefore needs no apology, nor doctrine, because it is the supreme mental doctor itself for the entire human family, woman and man. Truth is the supreme mental doctor. I gotta get into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to think about it though, truth don't change. It don't change, bro. At the end of the day, when somebody told the truth, there ain't no lie that can really necessarily stand to that. Because truth comes with proof and everything that you need. It's the fucking truth. Truth, every time you push play on truth, it's going to say the same thing. If you stick truth, if there was you needed a battery in your car to start it, if you start it with truth, it's going to start every time. If you get a battery that they're like, I think this is kind of something what you need or whatever, and then I think this is something kind of might start. It might not start. It may not give you what you need. So when you look at law and truth go hand in hand. So that's how you can get away with like the stereotypes and all this other stuff because they've already said, well, this is true, it is law, and we passed it. So now, with that being said, you got a case that's been passed by the Supreme Court or the Supreme Court of the land. The lower courts have to follow because there ain't no point in you debating the truth. That's the truth. We already said it was over here and came to that point. So for you to try to rehash or reopen up or rework something that they had already ruled on, that's hypothecation. You can't change it, it ain't gonna fly.
Nah, they supposed it, but they hypothecating.
Oh, I know. But that's what we all, like I say, we gotta stand up, because if they gonna go rogue on us, we don't have no other choice.
Hey, it is. Hey, that's why you got them cannons and them prophecies. It's gonna be blood up to the bridle and all that type of stuff. But what I like, this just stood out to me. It say, because it is talking about truth, because it is the supreme mental doctor itself for the entire human. Like, we messed up. Like, do people really, like, let's just take our people. I was thinking about this the other day, because our people, classified as and called Negroes, like it's saying this document, we got all the symptoms of war, of war, but it's warfare. They don't do all that war. They do it like in little bitty increments. They call it warfare. Like poison in the air, poison in the food, poison in your mind.
Poison in the water.
Exactly. Everything they can poison, they poison. You know what I'm saying?
Hide your seeds. Talking about, we need to store these in case something happens.
Right. So, like, if you look at our people and just look at the craziness that's going on, like, it's not uncommon for one of our women to be on sale for $40. That's like the Facebook joke.
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for one of our young men to be a murderer and then to be champion in the hood. Is like like you just won a champion, like you the MVP or something, cause you killing other. Like this is what this ain't all of our people, but it's not uncommon. And this we like the bottom of the barrel, so it's like supreme mental doctor. Like once you give our people the truth, even them people can be like, you know what? I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew it was rigged. I knew this. And now it's gonna prove to them that they not, know what I'm saying, what everybody took, because they'll sit up here and lie to us and tell us we got all these disorders, we crazy, we over hyper, over sexualized, and then we'll be like, man, they always putting this on TV. They trying to spread the message, and then get called by your scary family who ain't ready for, you know what I'm saying, revolution. You get called crazy by them. But when you get the truth, it's like confirmation. So it's the supreme mental doctor. And to me, it be making people crazy when you steady putting them through a situation and everybody know what it is, but you lying to them, telling them they ain't telling the truth. It's like a female getting cheated on, and she finally found out, I knew it. You was calling me crazy, huh? Like the truth, it was needed. That's why you got shows like Maury.
Right. Because it helps heal the situation. But see, when the part is too, when you get further on to that, it kind of explains a little bit more with that marriage license to code. And so,
we finna get to it.
The part that really trips me out is this hits on a good point when you about to get into it, but it is not. This is just a fraction of what it is that they got going on with this marriage situation. Because even when you talk about the marriage bond certificate and how they hypothecate all the eggs in the mother's womb or whatever, then they turn around and be like, oh, we need something for the hatched eggs. Your birth certificate. Right. Then you did, well, we might as well cash out on it one more time. You know what I mean? Right. So it's insane.
And that's
and this right here, I'm gonna let you go, because that's the next one. I'm gonna let you read it, but because I don't want to go ahead and spoil the whole thing. But even when we talk about lies and deception, like the whole marriage certificate is all about lies and deception. Do you see what I'm saying? That people don't understand, but this book, this article right here sheds light on the part of that, and the rest of it the people don't know. But you forcing people to do this stuff under a patriarchal system, when that's not the way that we originally did it. We didn't have certificates. Okay? If you decided that you wanted to form a lawful union with you and your consort, then all y'all did was put a public notice in saying we together. Right. Now y'all together. That's y'all lawful union. Ain't gonna be no bond. I don't need no preacher to tell me. Right. I ain't gotta pay you and all like. I told you I love you. Right. I didn't fucking tell. I got to go tell you in front of somebody else and swear on a Bible that ain't mine and all this other stuff. And take you from one master to another master. Right. To sit over here and parade you around in some damn dress where everybody gawking jealous at my consort. Right. Why I got to involve all these people? I'm with you. We just said we together. We can put this in the deal, and we done with that. Cause that's tradition. Right. And like we be proud. I'm finna give him my last name. Now you finna give a dude last name. That's what you finna do. You finna make him, you know what I'm saying, another slave. But the thing about it though, when the quote unquote, and I know this is all hypothetical, right? But when the quote unquote slaves got married, they ain't get no motherfucking preacher. We're gonna jump a broom. Right, they jumped the broom. Right. That's what that whole thing meant. It was like, we're just gonna show that we hopped this whole thing from one section, from one zone of our lives together, and now we permanent. Poop, now we jumped the broom. All right, that's good. We together. Y'all see it? Ha ha, all right, let's go. Okay? You don't take all that. You don't take all this other stuff that people keep throwing in, trying to make commerce off you. See, that's why we gotta get educated, because people don't even know. People ain't even looking at it like I gotta ask permission to do, like, what happened to liberty? Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Is it or not? Right. So, number 1 of Article 5. I'm just going to read it over. Truth cannot be altered and therefore needs no apology nor doctrine, because it is the supreme mental doctor itself for the entire human family, woman and man. That means they need this truth the same way we need it. Thus, the truth is the Sisterhood Christian Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, established the marriage license states right code
to prevent the Moorish men and women from marrying into their Magna Charta society of white supremacy. Number 2, did you ever stop to think that women and men are already married by the supreme law of nature, and that a marriage license is a violation of the law of nature? The natural law union between woman and man spells love and the reproduction of a child, in which a marriage license plays no part in.
Okay, so that's the key right there. Did you ever stop to think that women and men are already married by the supreme law of nature? When they bring that up, that's actually talking about astrology, like your sign. Like when they tell you, astrology ain't this basic, I'm going to look on the back of a newspaper and get this BS together or whatever. What they're really talking about there is that your signs, all the signs are compatible. You got air, fire, water, wind, all this stuff is together, and you have to know how these things work together to know how you marry. And that's going to come up, and we're going to break that down here in just a minute. But I'm going to let you keep going.
Okay. Number 3. Definitely there cannot be any illegitimate children, offspring from women and men, because woman is the supreme gate of creation of both male and female children by the law of nature, which spells Islam, or our self-law and master, the carpenter and grand architect of the human family. Adam means the positive forces in woman and sons responsible for evolution or the reproduction of children by the law of nature. The Pope, priests, the preacher, and judges of the Christian society definitely cannot prove that their Adam and Eve had a marriage license. Did you ever stop to think that the marriage license code is an act of selling women and men back to themselves? The Union Magna Charta Marriage License Code unfortunately and unconsciously caused the white women to be cut off from the human family, the Moorish nation. In other words, the white women are supreme social slaves against their will and desire. This has caused them to carry in their mind and heart a secret sorrow and anger, which causes their children to inherit a tendency of crime, hatred, insanity, and various other diseases.
Yeah, because if the woman ain't right, the child ain't going to be right, because the seed is as perfect as the mother is.
It's a reason why when a female be pregnant, they don't want you to upset her. Don't, argue with her, all that type, because you can pass that on to the child.
That's why pregnant women don't like for you to touch them. Because your energy, we carry energy, and it transfers whenever we touch. And so if you got a negative energy, she might be able to ward that off, but that baby is still developing. Okay, so it's going to affect the baby whether you realize it or not. So because the thing that we always have to keep in mind, and it's not so more for us to keep in mind, but it's more so much for the Moabites to keep in mind, is that the womb, when they're inside the womb, that's the first school. That's where they're learning everything. There's so many things that the mother is teaching them while they're in the womb that, some mothers just kind of take for granted and don't understand it. They're like, oh, I ain't worried about this. I'm pregnant, whatever. Pass me that 40.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't realize
I can drink a little.
The child. Right.
Yeah, I find it interesting that he say that the white women are supreme social slaves against their will and desire, and this has caused them to carry in mind and heart a secret sorrow and anger. Like, if this is true, it makes a lot of sense for stuff like the school shootings and all that type of stuff. Like, when we look at the science, we can look at, like I was talking about, our people, as far as the $40 and the, what's going on with us. Look at the other side, what's going on with them. This is why they need that truth. This is why the truth needs to be out. Because they held against their will, they mad about it too. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Islam, supreme standard of the Zodiac marriage law. Culture. Here are the elements of the signs of the zodiac and women and men's opposite signs involving the first marriage of the zodiac law of nature. No preacher and money and license in neither religion is necessary in the standard zodiac marriage law. In harmony with nature. Number 1, Aries is fire and Libra is air. Number 2, Taurus is earth and Scorpio is water. Number 3, Gemini is air and Sagittarius is fire. 4, Cancer is water and Capricorn is earth. 5, Leo is fire and Aquarius is air. 6, Virgo is earth and Pisces is water. The 1863 Union Bible story of Eve and Adam were founded upon the Moor Zodiac 12 signs law, the negative and the positive forces of nature, female and male, in harmony with nature. Aries is fire. Number 1, Aries is fire and Gemini is air. Number 2, Leo is fire and Libra is air. 3, Sagittarius is fire and Aquarius is air. Persons born under the opposite sign and the angle signs are in harmony with one another in every manner. Opposites attract, huh? The first-hand knowledge of the sign under which you and your mate were born will guide your destiny in peace, progress, and happiness forever. Let us remember that this is not a theory. The zodiac is the absolute universal standard of marriage and human guidance. Woman and man would know their duty towards one another and their children without being forced by the traditional code for the courtroom.
So even when you look at those signs, when it's saying in harmony with nature, Aries is fire and Libra is air. So when you think about fire and air, if there ain't no air, what happened to fire?
Right, you can't have fire without that.
Yeah, it gets extinguished, right? So, in earth and water, earth and water kind of go hand in hand because all the things that are needed on earth for them to survive, they need water, like your plants, like your animals, right? Without that, then the air, the whole body, the land would go dry, earth would go dry like deserts, right? There ain't nothing else there. So, that's the easy way to kind of help you figure out what's going on with the signs and how you can get it to work together, how they work together or not.
Okay. Article 6. The one and universal moral law for unity, peace, and economic and social progress. The Moor Zodiac Constitution is the only universal unchanged moral law for the human family. For unity, human equality, respect, peace, and economic and social progress. Therefore, every Moor, the Beys and Els, must be guided by this Constitution and book, Clock of Destiny. Do that which is right by reason and have respect for the white lawmakers and citizens of the Magna Charta Union Society of the 50 states in order to demand respect from them. The white peoples, of the Union are guided by their Magna Charta traditions and customs, and the Moors are guided by the Zodiac Constitution law.
But the Moors are guided by what?
The Zodiac Constitution law.
All right. I had to say that 2 more times.
Okay.
One more time. For the 3. One more time for the 3.
Look. The white people of the Union are guided by their Magna Charta tradition. And I got to read that Magna Charta. I got to get into that. And customs. And the Moors are guided by the Zodiac Constitution law. What we read now. Nevertheless, their customs and traditions, including themselves, must be respected by the Moors without submitting themselves to any of the Magna Charta customs. That which is termed the Christian law is a rule of action recorded on paper and supported by authority and force. The Zodiac law of nature is recorded in the wisdom of women and men and supported by moral intelligence, the greatest law. Knowledge of zodiac masonry as shown in this Moorish constitution and also in the book Clock of Destiny, Volume 1 and 2, will prevent a Moorish American, he or she, from indulging in crime. They then would not have to appear in the courtroom to stand trial should a Moorish American who has this constitution in Book 1 and 2 indulge in crimes such as narcotics, robbery, forgery, prostitution, illegal whiskey or alcohol, illegal schemes, gambling, peace breaking, violence, and disrespect for the law of the city, country, state, and federal, they then have incriminated themselves and therefore will be penalized. This Constitution, card, and book definitely does not protect criminals. Beware. The Clock of Destiny, Moorish American Card and Identification, and Constitution has been registered in the Library of Congress and signed by the author CM Bey. A Moorish American cannot be convicted on false accusation frame-up charges. The evidence against a Moorish American must be concrete proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Moorish nation of 150 million in 1951 of the United States of America Republic should not be destroyed for lack of truth and knowledge of the law and constitution of the Moors. So, I know that's going to confuse a lot of people because it's talking about respecting law.
But see, it's the thing is before you develop an opinion on it, you gotta have the book, the Clock of Destiny 1 and 2, so that way you can fully understand what they're talking about. Okay, but the main part that you want to come up in there is this is the part that I love the most is a Moorish American cannot be convicted on false accusation frame up charges. Now,
color law.
That's right. So everything that they're doing on a lot of these charges are on color of law. Okay? And then also there's a part in here, where's that at?
Must be concrete proof beyond a shadow of doubt.
Concrete proof beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so then this is also, when we're talking about this, and we're talking about color of law, that still also involves, so like your peers are the ones that would judge you, not someone else. Okay? Because if you're a foreigner, you really kind of don't have no say. That's not your fight. But if you've been violated, yeah, I get it. We'll talk about it, and we're the ones that decide the penalty, not you.
Right.
Because you can't do anything to me because you're foreign. You can just bring up your grievance, and then we can deal with you as we see fit, not as you see fit.
And yeah, you hit on it. Because like I said, I know a lot of people going to be like, they ain't got no law. And yeah, we follow law. It's meaning damage the person, damage the property. Anything talking about a person, that's why I say a Moorish American cannot be convicted on false accusation frame up. That's what it's talking about. All that color law person stuff.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when we're talking about corporations that are trying to penalize you, when you can't even, corporations cannot penalize a natural person. They have no place, they have no say. And they own Magna Carta Code. Okay? So at the end of the day, you kind of have to know this and know that they can't frame you and then send you off behind like you. The gun charge.
Right.
That don't have nothing to do with you. What does it matter if you had a gun? Hey, did you shoot somebody with it? Did you pistol whip somebody? If you haven't done any one of those, there ain't no injured party. You didn't have one all day, and you watch how they do it for themselves.
Right.
Right.
But it wasn't even a new gun charge. They was trying to use an old, decades old case.
It don't even matter about when it was. It's still a frame up charge at the beginning because you had a right to bear arms for whatever reason.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have mattered. And they didn't have the status to tell you that you couldn't have one because you were a foreigner occupying my ancestral estate.
Facts.
You can't be mad at me because I decided to use my toilet paper. Right? That's my stuff. It don't matter. You know what I mean? That don't matter.
Yep. So, Article 7. The Moorish Americans' freedom and legal in the Christian Union courtroom. In the Christian Union courtroom, the Moors cannot be forced to remove their red fez from their heads, nor can they be forced to raise their hand and take an oath over the Christian Bible. Neither can Moors, the Beys and Elves, employ white or Negro lawyers to represent them. The reason for this is that white people and their Negro slaves definitely cannot represent free Moorish Americans. The Negro is the property of the Union slaveholders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Say that one more time, because that's what they don't. So that's Negro, that's African American, that's black, right?
Yeah.
All of this is property of
anything not in your not describing you and your proper person.
Mm-hmm.
Is the property of the Union slaveholders. Because and let's break it down real quick. Like if you're not in your proper person, they gonna consider you incompetent, ward of the state, no matter how old you is. You a minority. You can't think for yourself. You can't control your estate. You can't, you can't execute it.
Right.
So they gonna act like they doing you a favor. We the trustee for them because they incompetent.
Because you were supposed to claim your nationality, right, when you became an adult. When you became, if that was your opportunity to claim it. Your mother should have given it to you, but if she didn't know, then once you know and you're an adult, it's your responsibility to claim it. Otherwise, you're still under their wardship status.
Yep. And according to they got a document called the Sister K V Trust Act of 1666 that the Pope put in the order all the way back then. And he's saying by the time you reach 7, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, said I'm in full life, I'm not lost at sea by the age of 7, then they gonna claim the estate until you know what I'm saying, come of age. They gonna count you as dead at sea.
And see, here's the trick. When you say dead at sea, what people don't understand is they're thinking sea, S-E-A.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what that term means. When they consider the Moors to be lost at sea, it's lost at S-E-E.
They
And
can't
so,
see.
no, you're right, they can't see. And when you look at S-E-E, that is just a short, because the full of it is the Holy See. So that means you're lost in the Christendom. So you're lost in the Holy See. S-E-E. If you research that, and you'll see how that's connected to the Pope, and how they're saying that you lost at sea because you lost in their vision that they have given to you that is not reality. You are lost in the illusion, so therefore you not right. You're ours. That's how you are property. Since you lost on our sea,
Right.
you lost in our shit.
Right.
We done with that. So there's a major distinction between that, because a lot of people thinking, especially when they say that, you know, the Treaty and Peace of Friendship and all of that is, you know, based off maritime and all of this stuff. So people are thinking that they said, oh, we lost the sea of some ship somewhere, you know, floating on the deal. No, everybody know your ass ain't lost out there. As many boats and shit go through there and cruises and every damn thing else. People have found your ass, right? So where else could you be lost at?
Right.
You lost at the Holy See. But they have that written everywhere. And that's
You
what they
also
call it.
lost in the sea of commerce.
Yeah.
They called it that too.
Yeah. But that Holy See piece, that's important, because that's what all of the people, them church heads that go, oh, Jesus, you just told me you was lost to sea.
People need to understand. Nah. And I'm going to do the science on that, and I agree with you. But people need to understand, these people got a protocol for dealing with you. Like, to know you they slave. So first, say you traveling or whatever. First is the license plate. Alright, he doing commerce. Pull him over. Then it's the driver's license. You know what I'm saying? Then it's your language. What is he answering to? Is he rebutting? Oh, he ain't rebutting nothing. He begging and pleading to get out the ticket. Oh, I got him. Yep. Look, all you got to do is go to the court and just tell him, you know what I'm saying, that you want the lesser of the fate, you want court supervision. And I'll come and I'll, you know, get a good word. And you...
Court supervision, minor.
Right.
Okay, I'm just something.
Right, yeah.
Wait, hold on. When you roll down the window, officer,
yeah,
you just gave him the power to be officer, to do all the shit that he finna do to egregiously fuck you. Okay? When at the end of the day, you know he's not an officer, he's just a policy enforcer, and actually he's a terrorist, because the only thing he doing is trying to get commerce.
Yep.
And get his finance piece going. They got quotas to meet. So that means they expect so many of you wards to be pulled over to pay up for commerce.
And not only do they got quotas, you better believe it don't win. Like, you can go on YouTube now and see reports from anywhere from 60 to 220 billion Federal Reserve notes a day being dumped into the system. Like, it's over with. So, like I say, these people got these protocols. You got their commercial instruments, and you using that name, you think you are the name. Like, and it don't matter, even if you are conscious of your Morse identity and you using them instruments. They gonna just act like, you know what I'm saying, all right, let the courts handle it. I'm just gonna do my part of the job and, hey, send them to the courts. So, this is important.
And that's just on the policy enforcement pulling you over. I saw something the other day that since 2008, them red light cameras done got over like 1.7 billion.
I seen that.
Okay, and it ended $35 a pop.
$35.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you run that ticket, $35. You gonna get it in the mail.
Yeah, the ticket I done paid was $100 and.
If you get it from the policy enforcer, they put some extra sauce on it for you. When that little camera catch you, when the camera can't, where the camera at in court? How a camera, did I hurt the camera?
Right.
Can you bring the camera up?
This how far they done went,
I want to
though.
call the camera up to try, but this camera done caught up $1 billion since 2008.
Real, they gonna have a picture of the camera on the wall in the head, top cop. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's why they giving the policy enforcers hell, right? Because they like, y'all ain't writing enough tickets.
Right.
Goddamn Speedy Cam done bust your motherfucking quarter last week. We raising your numbers. That don't make no sense, man. We can talk about that forever. That's crazy.
Alright. Well, the Moors cannot be forced to remove their red fez from their heads, nor can they be forced to raise their hand and take an oath over the Christian Bible. Neither can Moors, the Beys and Els, employ white or Negro lawyers to represent them. The reason for this is that white people and their Negro slaves definitely cannot represent free Moorish Americans. The Negro is the property of the Union slave holders. The Moors must respect the court by saying, I affirm. Here the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution law in their mathematical number 9. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth, which makes you yourself the great I am, the first and the highest law of self-protection and self-preservation in harmony with your Zodiac 12 signs unchained constitutional moral law of 360 degrees squared by your number 9.
Pause. Don't this sound familiar today?
Hey. You sure went there, didn't you?
I'm just saying, bro. I remember mentioning this
the
part.
The great I am, yeah.
Okay. But somebody told me different. And
Yeah, he told you.
Okay.
Luckily, we ain't into, putting out names. Because man knows not by being told anyway. They ain't gonna do nothing but if I was on here putting out names, it'll make it real fanciful. But then people still ain't gonna go do the research. So you do the research and then go look around at who y'all looking at and see who following the law. You know what I'm saying? You ask them the question.
Right. So that, basically the conversation was kind of on the verge of more so that somebody else had to verify who I was to make it work.
Right.
But I'm the one who say who I am. Right? You can't speak for me. That you would be representing me at that point now, wouldn't it?
But he say, he said the temple got a vouch for you though.
No.
He said that's how that go.
No, but see how? I don't understand that because I'm still stuck on that because, okay, so if I'm trying to stand on my square in a courtroom.
He's saying we self-law master.
But no, I feel you. I ain't, because this Weaslom shit ain't gonna fly with me ever. But this the thing, what you just said, what I was told is that when I go to court, right, the judge or magistrate is gonna contact him or some other person other than me, right, to validate who I said I was.
Right.
So
voucher, you need a cosigner.
Right. So hold up. if it didn't come from me, that's straight up slander all day at law, right?
Facts. I mean, if he's saying something contrary to you and you telling the people who you are, like we got case law on how to identify yourself with Supreme Court case law.
Straight up slander is anything that was said that I didn't say. So if that judge goes and talks to you for you to determine whether I'm gonna look at the stuff and see if it's what, there ain't no shit to look at. It's what I told you.
Right.
If you got any more questions, that judge needs to ask me. You don't ask somebody else who is XYZ who whopped the bound. You don't know me. Of course he don't know me. Of course you be like, no, I don't know him. I don't know him. So basically, you mean to tell me that y'all automatically divinely know I sense the energy of some more?
Yeah, he divinely know, cause he gonna look and see if you paid due. Oh no, he ain't gave me no fiat. He gave you some fiat. No, find his ass then.
Yeah, no, find him so I can get my fiat. Right. He ain't paid me, and you can get the fiat. He ain't paid you, and we can keep moving.
Yeah,
right.
That's what that is.
But it basically says here the court has no jurisdiction over them. Now, if my constitution that I'm standing on tells me that courtroom, even when I go in, has no jurisdiction on me, how you gonna tell me they got jurisdiction when I walk in?
Because obviously, and that person didn't say nothing about this constitution either. Obviously, he's not. And like we read, we not just talking about this written zodiac. When we talking about the zodiac, we talking about nature. We following nature. Nature's God, nature's law. So you ain't just saying I ain't following the zodiac con. You saying I ain't following nature. That's you saying. F the natural way of things. We doing it the way, you know what I'm saying, Bob said we got to do it so it can work. That's what he said.
And it just basically says the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution, law, and their mathematical number 9, etc. Right?
Facts. Now.
But we're going to keep going, because I don't want to skip to the other caveat that links to that piece.
Okay.
I don't want to, because I'll just go ahead and put the nail in the coffin, but it's coming. So I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to be a spoiler. I don't want to be that way.
People, especially if you done seen some of my work, I'm steady telling people, look, like the way I handled that, as far as going in on the police, that's not how we supposed to do it. We supposed to respect them. We supposed to give respect to get respect. Is we still, even though they de facto, we still got balance. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm not telling you to go curse out people and this, that, and the other. And just in case somebody was wondering why we respecting them, and the Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as the Holy Quran, or Al-Quran, meaning the earth, the moon, the sun, and the 7 planets, or the chronology zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate, North America. The name Mohammed, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque were established by the Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood, Franciscan fathers of North, who overthrew the Moorish Society of Islam between 1789 and the Union of 1863.
Don't that sound?
Yeah.
That really, now that make me look at
that's when Lincoln got killed, ain't it?
Huh?
Or around that time.
Yeah, but still. Prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque were established by Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood. Now, I'm Moor, so I know I'm not Dutch. I know our people ain't Anglo-Saxon. And I damn sure know they ain't no damn Franciscan fathers. But you see the key word, overthrew the Moorish Society of Islam between 1789 and the Union of 1863. I didn't see nothing yet that said they've been reinstated. So, you know, that's kind of appeal to our Muslim brothers and sisters to wake up to their Muslim birthrights.
And I agree. Like, I done had this conversation with so many people who classify just as Muslim, because I classify as Muslim as well. Like, I still got my Mecca Quran is like, we Muslim because of what we are. Like, so I done had this conversation, and the only thing to me that's gonna open that door like that is like the sincerity. Somebody really wanting to know the truth. Really not really having a side to this thing, and I just want to know what the truth is. Like,
right.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Go ahead, whenever you're ready.
The Moors, the Beys and L's must never attempt to teach or lecture in the Christian institutions, namely church, temple, mosque, school, and hall.
Okay. Christian institutions. That's the most important part about what it is that we're saying when we're making that appeal to kind of look at what you're doing and who you're following. Because if they said that it was overthrown between 1789 and 1863, then that means that all these institutions are Christian institutions, whether you believe it or not. So that's the reason why the Pope said Islam and Christianity are one, because they're Christian institutions, because he knows they overthrew the stuff in 1789 and 1863.
Right.
So when you got your brother running around here telling you, yeah, I'm Muslim. No, you're Muslim. So we all forced to make changes and corrections, right? But you can't come and give me a speech and expect me to follow you when you're actually under the wrong brand.
Facts.
I'm not a Christian. I never said I was a Christian. But if I'm in these institutions, what does that make me?
It's a Christian institutions. Now, there's some science that can be done. We ain't finna do it all right now. But if anybody got, comments or some proof they want, I like proof. Like, don't just, scrap comments. If anybody got some proof that they can provide to bring more clarity, hit us in the inbox and we accept it. We'll look it over. Anything else you want to hit on?
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I don't even really want to touch it right now, because I want to do some science before because when I see stuff like that, I be wanting to go in.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, out of this whole Zodiac Constitution, right? I mean, it gives you some keys. It gives you some hella keys. Article 7. This article right here is just my most favorite article out of all of them, and I know how much the other ones mean. I really do. But when it gets to number 7, so something about that just hits home with me, because it's kind of giving you a little bit more clarity on who it is that you're dealing with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but go ahead. It's that this is a violation.
This is a violation of the Union Society States' Right Magna Charta Code of Mary and Christ. The truth of the Moor Zodiac Constitution law and moral human principles definitely conflicts with the Christian Union customs and doctrine of the Magna Charta from every angle. Nor do not criticize the white people's belief in the religion of their son and women image. Nor do not ever attempt to influence the white people to accept the oral truth and principles of your 12 sign Zodiac constitutional law, because the Magna Charta is a Latin phrase meaning Magna Charta of white people's economic and social attraction only. Give me 1 second. Which had its beginnings in the colonies of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois in 1848 and 1854. If the lawmakers of the 50 Union States Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American Zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution, it will be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Charta Code. Wa alaikum assalam.
I just love that right there. That's the best part.
That's the best part?
Yeah, that's one of the best parts, because at the end of the day, you know, when people try to ignore this one, right, especially if you trying to fight on that side of the line, you done already stepped outside of this motherfucker right here.
Right.
Then you just violated the other one that you was in over there.
Right.
So when they say the double-edged sword is swing both ways, you can't play with that. That's why you stand your behind over here where you're supposed to be, in your place, right? The Constitution for you.
Right.
You don't kind of try to sit over here and start, you know, playing around, jumping back and forth and whatnot, especially without having the knowledge of your own Constitution. Because then you done cut your own throat trying to slit somebody else's.
Yeah, this thing powerful, man. But this thing is like these is weapons that can be used for this, what we in, this genocide we in. But you gotta use it. You have to be the one, you know, you gotta use your will. So you gotta be the breath that's directing the force, creating the power. You know? Because it ain't gonna, you just filing the papers is not just gonna do it by itself. That's part you need to be on the record. That's doing what you need to do on your side. But these people, like this, the warning came to us 100 years ago. They've been doing this for so long. They've been seeing and eating off us for so long and violating so many of us Moors. Like, it's so rare for it's like winning the lottery to see a real Moor.
Yeah.
What's the what's the idea? What's the canon say? Like, man, when they see a man, it's gonna be like you know what I'm saying, a great thing when they gonna run to their mother and say, I seen a man.
Yeah.
See, we having affairs of everybody ain't a man out here. If you is, or why you ain't having enough affairs of men? We having enough affairs of men. So when they see a real man, it's like I said, it's like winning the lottery.
Right, but here's the trick. Because I don't even want no females to feel like they left out. Because the charge still goes to you too. Because you are womb man. Okay? So there ain't no difference between man and womb man. The only difference is the covenant and womb that you have. So when we mention man, you're all in that. Because you the Stargate that creates man, and you still man, period. No matter how you want to look at it.
We can't even be here without the woman.
Right. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have no gate to walk through.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can walk people through without us.
Right.
If you keep yourself right and you knew what you was doing, you don't need us like you think you do. Right. But we just here, like, just when you watching nature, right? What the lion doing? He walking around checking that territory out, making sure ain't nothing wrong with you or your babies. Right. Guess what? Most of the time, you go get the food, just like you cook. Right. The lioness go get the food, take care of the babies, right? They playing, shut them up, discipline them. Daddy just walking around, make sure ain't nobody fucking with my children, right? So we just looking at nature. That's what we're supposed to do. We honoring nature, right? So don't get it twisted and think that, you know, oh, this conversation is just for men, and try to use that as an excuse to X your ass out of it. Because you and all of this is about you. All of these things apply to you and us.
Facts. And this is our Constitution. So, you know, we around here talking about we got our own theocratic government. Each government has to have its own constitution. So we got these fake, I don't even like calling them cases, transactions in these banks that they call courts. We supposed to come with their constitution, what they bound by, the treaty, and then our constitution.
What we bound by.
Nation, buffer, and then you got the other nation. You know what I'm saying? These are the terms.
3 things.
Yep.
What did it just tell you in here about the 3 and the number 9 and the letter I, right? So it's all in alignment with your own constitution, and you have to be in alignment with it for it to work, because otherwise you will have stepped, if you don't have that piece, you stepped out of your own constitution and you done put yourself in somebody else's constitution, And now they can do whatever they want to do with you.
And then that's like we dealing with. This is dealing with well, it's dealing with feminine and masculine. But as far as the law part, that's just one part. Like you still need to be working with the feminine principle as far as feeling the situation to know what to do. So you ain't gotta ask nobody. So they want people to come and have to go call Grand Sheik of Big High Temple to get me out. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to be our self-law, really be our self-law. Like, why is we saying it for? Why is it our self-law master if I gotta go call the title to come and get me out? And we all got the same birthright. Like, this ain't never adding up to me. What math is y'all doing? Please explain it. And then explain it with law. Don't tell me what, you know what I'm saying, the custom been for so long. But it's the Zodiac Constitution. I don't know what we get into next. What you?
I don't know. I guess next time gonna be a surprise. That's good. There ain't no point in we gonna know it's gonna come to us by the time that next week comes for sure. You know.
Yeah,
but
I'm studying all type of stuff.
Yeah, all types of stuff, and I'm sure we'll have some stuff that we'll be able to present because it's plenty. We could talk about this here for the rest of the life, to years end and on, right? But at the end of the day, it's an appeal, and nobody's trying to tell you, you know, because we know man knows not by being told. So you get the Zodiac Constitution, AA222141. It'll explain a lot of things that you need to see and understand, and expand on that. Take a look and look up those words and the etymology of everything that's in it, so then that way you'll have a clearer understanding of who you are, how you stand, how you everything that governs you in the correct manner, so then that way you'll be in honor and you'll be able to get a lot of these things accomplished without having to call who out the bam to make sure that you on their chicken list or their delivery list to see if, you know, because it clearly everything in the Constitution just rebutted all of that we were told earlier in this crazy conversation, you know. But at the end of the day, we all have to stand on our own principles based off of the birthright that our mother given us, not necessarily being validated by anyone else, because all of the sovereignty that you received is from your people, given to you by your mother, period. And if you go to somebody else, then that means if you do anything other than those things that are laid out in that Constitution and standing on that Constitution on your square as you should be, then you are actually setting yourself up for failure.
Not only that, you're in violation.
And you're in violation. And so if you're in violation, then that always means that it's going to be consequence. So you can't be mad if it's a consequence for something and you didn't do what you needed to do to protect yourself or put yourself where you needed to be. If you let somebody steer you in the wrong direction, then you let them steer you. How you gonna let them grab the wheel? You the one driving the car, ain't it your car?
Caveat emptor. You've been warned already. Also, Clock of Destiny 1 and 2. You need to read that. Like, this is standard. What?
I think maybe that's what we should do.
Them joints long though. Like them.
Well.
Them joints like little writing and.
Yeah, because I was like, shit, we probably get stuff off of that for a while. What we'll probably do is maybe put that up on the website where people can go and take a look at it or whatever.
Yeah, we'll probably do a series of that.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, we might do series or something like that, but that's like something that you still got to self-study. Like, I can't sit over here and tell you all of this because, man, you're going to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
that's what the prophet was saying. I don't know, so I'm gonna roll with the prophet on that. You need to look up 1 and 2 on your own.
Yeah,
self-study,
you need to read that.
And make sure that you know the Clock of Destiny, because at the end of the day, all those are work together. And that Clock of Destiny 1 and 2 in the Zodiac Constitution is a whole nother trio of things that you need to know, because that's going to help you get a whole lot of understanding about your paradigm.
And the reason I'm saying, because it's so much information, you ain't gonna get to it all at once. So that's why we got our own Circle 7, because we all got our own, you know, methods and stuff. You need to read that, like, especially if you reading Zodiac Constitution, you wondering, man, why we gotta respect them? Why we gotta? You need to know the whole story. It's the reason we over here mad. When I first, what it say? It's the this truth is what they call it, like the mental doctor or something. Well, let me see.
Yeah, let me see what that Yeah, it says the truth cannot be altered and therefore needs no apology nor doctrine, because it is the supreme mental doctor itself for the entire human family, woman and man.
And that's why we trying to get from love to hate, right? We trying to go from yin to yang, right? Because we mad. Because we, in our mind, of our people, we done been took for 400 years and, you know what I'm saying, this is that, and a lot of the stuff happened. But it ain't just like that. And we ain't, you know what I'm saying, just exempt. So read that Clock of Destiny 1 and 2. Get your Zodiac Constitution on. Get back at us with any questions, comments based off proof. You know, we can build off that. That's all I got.
Yeah, Islam.
Islam, peace, Moors.
Peace.